This lesson plan project focuses on area in the real world. It's designed for use in third grade. By the end of this week, students will learn how to relate area to the operations of multiplication and addition. Students will work through virtual reality, interactive simulations, and will brainstorm a way to show their knowledge of area through the creation of their own Minecraft world. Students will follow a rubric to build structures in Minecraft. This Minecraft world will represent a world in which their independent book character might live. Some of the technology and tools needed include individual devices or a group of devices with a plan to implement them effectively, internet access, Minecraft for Education access, a Kahoot account, a Nearpod account, vet simulation access, independent reading books, and, as always, flexibility. On the first day, students will go on a Nearpod virtual field trip to see geometry in the real world. This activity will start with students assessing their knowledge of geometry, including area. Students will then work through an activity they will explore and they will complete some practice problems. Ultimately, students will self-assess based on their experience. They will be given an opportunity to ask and answer questions. This Nearpod assignment will have them observe geometry in the real world. They will click through it. They can go on a virtual reality trip. They'll get to go explore what shapes look like in reality, and it'll give them a chance to see what area actually is. On the second day, students will practice area using a vet simulation that uses virtual manipulatives to build shapes to explore the relationship between area and perimeter. First, students will explore and build two-dimensional models. The program shows the area and perimeter of the models that students built. When students click Explore, they will be brought to a screen that looks like this. When they move blocks into positions, the area and perimeter is addressed up there. They have the option to toggle on and off the grid, as well as this to help them see what numbers they are working with. Once students feel comfortable with that, they will move on to the game. The game starts by giving an area, and the student has to build a shape that matches the area. There are multiple levels, so this assignment is differentiated based on content. Students will work through, and they are trying to build a structure that matches that area. It's really fun. They can play around with it. It is self-check. It gives them some positive reinforcement right in there, and they can progress to being given both an area and perimeter and then building a shape that matches it. Each of these activities are self-checking, so students will get immediate feedback. There are multiple right answers, so students have time and space to be creative. On the third day, students will complete a Kahoot about area as a formative assessment. The teacher will use this data to pull targeted intervention groups as needed. The Kahoot is self-checking, so students will get immediate feedback based on their accuracy. Right here is some sample questions that can be used. By day 4, in order to show final knowledge, students will build a world in Minecraft Education. Students will spend day 4 working through the graphic organizer and brainstorming the way in which their world will look. The teacher will check the graphic organizer and the student's plan before students can move on to building their world in the Minecraft platform. This is their checklist that they have to follow. They need to build a world that a character from their independent reading book might live in. They need to include these structures with labels. They need to fill in the chart. A lot of these numbers work out so that there are multiple correct answers, again, encouraging creativity by these students. For their final project, students will build their world using the Minecraft platform. Once they have built their world following the rubric, they can add additional creative elements, staying true to the theme of their independent reading book. When students feel like they have completed their worlds, then they will take a screenshot and upload a photo of it to our Class OneDrive, which is accessible via our class Teams page. Students will then complete a virtual gallery walk to see the structures that their classmates built. Here is an example of what the Minecraft Education portal looks like. All of my students have this downloaded to their computer. It's accessible via their ClassLink login. They can get in, no one else can get in and mess with anything. It's great. Post-implementation, we all agreed that it was a really valuable learning experience. On my end, it was interesting because it took twice as long to design this as it actually took to implement. I followed this almost exactly because I wrote it, but I did add an extra day at the end to focus on the gallery walk piece. I wanted to use that as a reflection to discuss why area is important, along with other ways that multiplication and addition show up in life. I really enjoyed seeing the creativity that my students brought, and it was a very enjoyable project.